So, welcome back everybody to another video of Really Dangerous. I've been testing the beta 1.3 for the last past days and wanted to give you my first impressions on it. The first thing I've started out testing was the new and different behavior of the turrets, which in the past made them basically unusable because they were firing on every enemy ship, whether it was scanned and flagged as wanted or not. And I had some unfortunate incidents where my ship then became flagged as wanted as well and became destroyed. So I really looked forward to this, and once the beta 1.3 hit, I jumped into my Python and tried it out. And more or less it works as advertised. So turrets are now a real viable option, especially on the larger ships as the Python or Anaconda. Then we have the whole power struggle, and you now have an extra menu, as you see here, with different tabs like overview, rating, and then 3 tabs for preparation, systems in preparation of takeover, expansion, which is the flipping basically, and the control and fortification of these controls systems, as well as the stats. And you here see the map, which now has another tab for power play, where you can see the influences of the different factions. In this in this case, it's Aisling Duval, which I have more or less aligned to, because Cheesy was the one next to me, or next to the position I was in at the current time, and I didn't want to fly half through the galaxy to find some faction. So we'll take a more in-depth look at this shortly. And as you can see here, you have 10 factions, like Zachary Hudson, among others. These 10 factions are over all the 3, or with the Independence, 4 factions. The Federation, the Empire, the Alliance, and of course the Independence. You have different tabs like this pledge here, where you can see that you have 5 ratings that you can basically achieve. And as I said before, there is a list of different systems here that are in preparation for flipping, or to be converted to the to this faction. The expansion, which is the actual act of flipping, and the control, which means that this systems then later are fortified against being flipped by others. So, as you can see here, I'm checking out the different factions a little bit here, and you have a small info where this actual system is, how many light years it's away from you, and in some cases you even see how much it takes to be flipped. As I said, the faction that was next to my starting point was Aisling Duval, so I basically swore allegiance, at least for the beta test, to her, and you will see me do some missions for this faction. And here you can see basically there are expansions, and these are the 3 current systems that the Aisling Duval wants to convert to her cause, and up till now it looks okay, because they are all pretty much overachieved by by players already. So How this whole thing works is that you basically fly to the core system of said faction, whether it's Aisling or any other, and you buy information. This in part depends on what the faction actually favors. With Deval, it's basically information and stuff, and you buy this as you would buy any other good, and you can basically then transport it over to the system in question, and there return it to the global faction, and it will work towards the global goal. As you can see here, now I'm in Cubio, which is the core system for Aisling Duval, and now you can buy 10 tons of this of 3 different cargo types. You either have contracts, program materials, or media materials. Media materials are used for preparation. Seal contracts are used for actually flipping the star system, and the last resource is basically for fortification of said star systems. Star systems once they're flipped. And I've now, because as you can see here, the expansion is already has already been achieved on all the 3 star systems in question. I'm going to try to work towards the controlling. So I'm looking here for the system that's next to me, and you can see somebody already paid 10 resources there towards the end of basically fortifying this system. Other factions actually can use this or use their own resources to work against your fortification or flipping or preparation of the star citizens by bringing their own resources there. But I haven't seen that yet, and because this is the first evening where 1.3 actually hit, and you basically only can buy 10 tons of these 3 materials. If you want to buy more than 10, you can actually fast forward delivery of these resources by paying at the moment 100,000 credits. So as I have 5.2 million, I'll just fill up my cargo hold, which is right now 64 tons, to just do this a little bit quicker. And from the experience that you'll see me have at a little bit later on, I can tell you that you actually need to fortify a system. Right now you need 108 tons of materials. So my 60 tons aren't enough to flip one system all the way. As you can see here, I've just delivered my cargo, and now I'm at 100 tons of 108 that are needed to end this fortification process. And I'm back at the Cubio plant here. Just fast forwarded it, and you will see me actually I've fitted my Python here with the maximum amount of 192 tons, and I'm actually filling it up to the brim with 190 tons of materials, and I'll be distributing these among 3 star systems to basically fortify them. For the fortification, you actually get points. We'll see that in a little bit, where that you can use to increase your standing with the global faction. And once you have achieved a certain rank, you'll be able to get certain bonuses, as well as at rank 2, which I think is being among the top 50% of contributors. You will get access to faction-based weapon, which was one of the, or weapon or system, which is one of the key features of this new update. But to cut a long story short, I'll show you these a little bit later. But for me personally, none of the weapons actually is interesting enough to really try to maintain this position of top 50%. For I think you need to do this for 4 weeks in a row. As you can see here, we are at the rating systems, and you can you see I currently earned 60 merits, and these 60 merits are almost enough to get me to rating 2, which is unlocked at 200 merits. And you will see on the right side there are the benefits that are used by the by these ratings. At tier 3, you see actually there's unlock access to prismatic shield generators that create particularly strong shields after 4 weeks aligned with this power. So you actually need to be aligned with the power for 4 weeks and achieve this rank to get access to the different stuff. Like you can see with Hudson, it's a pacifier frag cannon A, which is a variant of the frag cannon actually. And if you pause the video, you can actually see the other ratings as well. With Felicia Winters it's a pulse disruptor cannon. Lavinia Duval, I think, is the Imperial Hammer, a multi-shot railgun. So you can see. Then you have Zemina Torval, which actually has the mining lance, which is the mining laser that does a little bit more damage in ship-to-ship combat. With Edmund Mahon, you have the Retributor, sorry. With Petraeus, you have the advanced accelerator, plasma accelerator of some sort. Azing Duval you already saw. Then you have an Independence, Lee Yong Roy, I hope I pronounced that right, with I think missiles. Then you have Arton Delane, which has the Crictus scanner. Perneville Antal, which has the enhanced cannon. And I think there was one more, but I switched it because basically at this point I realized that all these are just variations of the different systems that are already in game, and I don't know, the current layouts, for me at least, it seemed like most of the cannons and weapon systems are already pretty good as they are in game, and you don't need a faction type. But I'll try them out, and I'll report back to you when I have the chance of actually trying them. As you can see here in the galaxy map, you can actually switch between an overview, which is the control space, the expansion, and the control. And in these views, you actually see the different systems that are currently marked as targets for the Global Powers Initiative. So these are the systems and questions where you can actually bring the different resources and you can achieve these ranks and these merits. So after I tried this a little bit and I've earned enough merits, I've fitted an Anaconda, which currently has I think a rebuy cost of about 200,000, which is pretty much ridiculous, but that's a benefit of the being in beta. And I've actually fitted it with an all-turret version because I've always wanted to try out the all-turret versions on these larger ships, and as you can see immediately, there's a slight heat problem. I currently have a large cannon, or a huge cannon, sorry, not a large cannon, a huge cannon, and everything else is is beam lasers and burst lasers, and this is way too much heat for any of the capacitors that you actually have, and I've immediately received some heat damage, and you'll see that this was a recurring theme on these larger turreted ships. With the new turrets, when you have selected the fire mode, fire target, these turrets won't shoot until you press the fire button for the first time, and from that point on they will fire automatically.
Target destroyed.
Which means that you won't be in a position that they will fire even when the target is painted as wanted, and basically means that it is already attacking you. This was the case before, and this was as well the reason that I've got flagged and lost a large amount of bounties, as well as having to rebuy my Python, because I've was at that time in a swarm of 8 or 9 federal ships, and even though these weren't particularly large, what I found out over the last month is that when there are enough small ships that are shooting at you, as you will see in a second here, even the best shields of a ship like the Anaconda will go down. As you can see here, I'm currently engaging in ASP, but all the other ships are in a wing with this ASP, and they will actually shoot at me for the whole duration while I'm still firing at the ASP. And I'm currently trying out the fire at will position, while at the same time trying to use my cannon to kill off this ASP, but I will find out in a second that that's not the best strategy, and for, at least with this much enemies around you, it will probably be wiser to use fire at target and battle down individual ships one after another. As you can see here, my shield on an Anaconda is actually about to fail. There it goes. And even though I have, I think, reinforced hull armor on this one, it was quite a shock to me to see that I haven't destroyed one single ship yet, and have already lost my shields and them sustaining quite a bit of damage. So as you can see here, I'm still trying to shoot at this ASP and kill it, and I'm now switching to fire at will. Fire at will, I'd say. Fire at the target only,
Shields online.
and this will actually yield much better results than before. I'm checking my systems here to see if perhaps my power generator is already dying, which would be a catastrophic failure, because then when the just your power generators battle down and reaches 0%, you will be destroyed, even though the rest of your ship is still in perfect health.
Target destroyed.
So, as you can see here now, I'm focusing individual targets and actually trying to rotate my Anaconda that a whole broadside can be fired upon them. And as you can see here, the Eagles don't stand much of a chance. They die pretty much immediately. Still, I'm lost already a substantial part of my hull, and
Target shields offline.
I've learned from this, while this Anaconda isn't or wasn't fitted perfectly at that point of time, that
Target shields
you still need to be
online.
very much aware that these enemy ships in large numbers are very much able, if they concentrate their power, to take down your shield and damage you. However, as you can see here, now only one Sidewinder is left, and I'm about to finish it off. It's currently sitting at the most extreme range, so the lasers won't do much damage.
Target shields online.
However, I'm now about to come about, and
Target shields
once
offline.
the Sidewinder is is in front of my ship, and all the hardpoints can basically fire at it, it's only a
Target
matter of
destroyed.
seconds until it's
Scan
destroyed.
detected.
So, we're a little bit later in the Anaconda.
Target
I've
shields offline.
changed my load a little bit, and actually now I'm back where I started as at Mazaguanas, and I'm actually trying out the resource extraction sites, because one of the other new features is high intensity resource extraction sites, which for me initially sounded like a very good idea, because when I'm currently residing in a Imperial Clipper in the non-beta version, and my Clipper is very good at killing large ships, but going into a resource extraction site and basically trying to do bounty hunting is a very much reliance on chance, because sometimes you have a resource extraction site where you can easily achieve 2.5 million credits in a short period of time. Other times you're only faced with, or you only are faced with Sidewinders and Eagles, and it's not really worth actually fighting them. So I really had high hopes for these high intensity resource extraction sites, because I thought, okay, this basically is a resource extraction site as I need them. I need a resource extraction site where the only opposition is something as powerful as a Python, as a Clipper, Federal dropships, or even the Anacondas, but unfortunately they aren't. So I'm a little bit disappointed by that aspect, but you can't have everything in a first go, and I'll try to get a little bit more of insight on this, and will then get back to you. So, hope you enjoyed this first look. Hope it was a little bit educational for you as well, and see you on the next one. Bye!